Hey guys, it's Bastian time. Welcome to This Week in Nintendo News. I'm your host Bastian, and it finally occurred to me that this is the only Mario shirt I have, and I don't know why that is. I guess I haven't seen too many awesome Mario shirts that made me go, oh my gosh, I gotta purchase that. So if you know of any sweet Mario shirts, let me know about them in the comments down below, and I'll take a look and probably pick one or two up. So as I explained in the This Week in Zelda News video a couple days ago, this Week in Nintendo News video is going to be all Nintendo news, no Zelda stuff, and I think that's the way I'm going to keep it from now on, just to keep things divided up and separate. If that makes either of these two videos especially long, oh well. I'm sure you don't mind too much. Or do you? If you do, let me know in the comments down below. So first of all, Nintendo announced a Nintendo Direct, and what's kind of frustrating about that is that these past two that they've done, they've just sort of sprung on us out of nowhere. They gave us like a day's notice. So if you weren't instantly aware of it and missed it, they do let you watch it at any old point, but I kind of like to watch them live, so thank goodness I'm in this news thing and was paying attention. So I was able to catch it, and we didn't learn a whole lot of super awesome new things. First of all, it was only in Japanese. They didn't do one for Europe, and they didn't do one for America. They just did one for Japan, because a lot of the games that they announced are probably Japanese only, which is kind of what's been going on lately. So the one game that's likely not going to be Japanese only, the big game that they announced, is Animal Crossing 3DS. And they talked a little bit about Bravely Default Flying Fairy, and I'm really excited about that game. Not a whole lot of new details, but a new pretty trailer, and can't wait to play it. They also talked about some unusual girl game. I don't remember what it was, but it didn't look like my cup of tea. And that's kind of it. They also talked a little bit about Dragon Quest X. This Nintendo Direct was specifically for 3DS games and Wii games. No Wii U info whatsoever. They're saving that for their big presentation in September. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But anyways, the Dragon Quest X stuff looks pretty awesome. Also really excited to play that. Kind of a slightly disappointing Nintendo Direct. Nothing super awesome announced. Next up is a story that comes from GameStop, and basically their managers are having a big managerial meeting on November 18th, and just a lot of things about that, and the timing really seems to point to that being the Nintendo Wii U release date. So it seems really likely that that's the actual date, especially because of this meeting. And so I don't know. I'm going to say here and now that I'm pretty sure that's the date, November 18th, but we'll have to wait and see for sure. Our next story comes from Watson, and that's the Microsoft computer that famously appeared on Jeopardy and battled against various contestants and won. And in any case, Watson has a Twitter account, and somebody asked Watson if he was related to the Wii U at all, and he says that they share the same power chips. I guess it's called Power 7 chips. So that's kind of interesting that Wii U is a relative of Watson's. Our next story comes from President of Nintendo Iwata, who says that yes, there will be downloadable content for New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS, specifically Coin Rush, brand new Coin Rush downloadable content, but to hold your horses, basically. It's only been out for a couple weeks now, and it's not coming anytime soon, so just wait and it will. Speaking of the 3DS, our next story is about SD cards, and it was previously thought that 128 gig SD cards wouldn't work in them, but it turns out that somebody was able to very easily figure out a way to make them work. So you can click on the link down below, and that will walk you through the process to make that happen. 128 gigs of an SD card. You could store basically any game that you would want on there and never have to worry about keeping multiple SD cards. I've just got the generic 2 gig SD card, so I'm gonna check out the 128 gig one. Our next story is about a bit of a kerfuffle regarding Wii U's power and Mass Effect 3. Nintendo Power, for whatever reason, stated that Mass Effect 3 would run in 1080p. And this would be revolutionary because it ran in 720 for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. I mean, neither of those systems could really do it in 1080. It's just not possible for those systems, but it is possible for the Wii U to do it, and so Nintendo Power announced that it was going to, but then the Mass Effect 3 developers said, actually no, it's just going to be running in 720 like the other two systems. So that's a bit of a letdown, because it would have been cool for the Wii U to be one-up on Mass Effect 3 like that. And speaking of the Wii U, it turns out, according to some developers, that Nintendo was originally planning on making it accessible with not just 2 gamepads, but 4. But decided that that really wasn't going to work out so well. So it's kind of interesting that we all thought it was just going to be 1 gamepad, and then there was a lot of annoyance about that out there. Why can't it do 2? And then they announced, oh yeah, actually it will be 2. But it turns out they were actually planning on it utilizing 4 gamepads. So there's something about the way the Wii U is built that would still allow for that, possibly, so we'll have to wait and see if that's something that Nintendo actually decides to implement in the future. So that's it for this week. I'll see you guys in just a couple days for This Week in Zelda News. See you then. Bye. Hey guys, it's Bastian time. What is happening? I forgot to do the watch thing.